How can you be more secure if you have an anxious attachment style? This is what we're going to cover today. Maybe you're in a relationship and you feel that your anxiety is making things difficult with your partner. Maybe you just broke up with your partner and you feel that your behavior, the result of this anxiety attachment style, is making things harder for you to reconnect, to recover from that relationship. I'll explain in this video how you can, few practical tips that you can follow in order to feel more secure and therefore increase your chances to get back with your ex, increase your chances to form a stronger bond with your partner. Jingle.
IGetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
So how do you build a successful relationship? Because it's what it is about. It's quite simple, 3 bullet points, and I teach you how to build a successful relationship, right? It's an ongoing process. It's something that you nurture. Things change, people change, and therefore, as a result of that, you need to be able to assess, you need to be able to grow, you need to be able to understand and adapt as well. So it's very much dynamic. Very frequently when my clients call me for the first time, they explain, I took my wife for granted, or I took what we had for granted, I didn't work on the relationship. So you have to be mindful about that. And actually by watching this video, you're actually doing this work of understanding, of growing, of making sure that that relationship can be dynamic, right? And one key element as well is the self-awareness. It's key to better connect with your partner, it's key to better communicate, and communication is fundamental in any sort of relationship dynamic. Usually when people break up, basically it's because of communication issues. And when you want to share things with your partner, it's really about that self-awareness. And that's what I want to detail and explain in this video, is how you can bring more self-awareness, how you can detach yourself from that framework, that anxiety framework that you've built through your childhood, and how can you extract yourself from this framework, because you have the ability to do it. I'll explain you how to do it, but you have the ability to move away from that framework. Step 1, I think I did 5 steps if I remember correctly. Step 1 is acceptance. It's interesting because acceptance is the last stage of the grieving process. When you reach acceptance, it's really when you are able to move forward. When you're able to, okay, I can take ownership of my life and I can sort of make the necessary measures in my life to move forward. So you're anxious, and it's fine to be anxious. I don't know if you knew it, but it's fine, it's okay. A lot of people who are anxious, they feel that guilt, like, I'm anxious, I'm not strong, I'm weak. Accept the fact that you're anxious. Anxiety is a natural feeling. It's something that was built to keep us safe, and what you have to do is just to manage that anxiety. The idea is not to become, not feeling this natural and basic emotion and basic sort of tool that we have in our brain, in our body, because it also affects our body. So accept the feelings, accept the thoughts, accept those sensations. Get rid of the things of the past, because I think also when we are anxious, we really look at I should have, could have. You're really in that mindset of I should have, could have. What if? Right? So right now, make a list, keep a journal of the things that you feel, the thoughts that you have in your head, and the things in the past that you want to get rid of. Because you have to understand, in order to reach acceptance, you need to let the past in the past. You have to accept, for example, this relationship is over. You have to accept that your ex decided to end the relationship with you. Again, I'm not saying you will never get back together, but you have to accept that this relationship is over. And there's nothing you can do now to fix what happened in the past. You can only address things in your life, design things in your life to change your life, but you can't change that past relationship. It's too late. You had opportunities to fix things. You can blame yourself, you can feel guilty that you didn't do those things at that time, but it's not helping you to create the life and to create the condition to be more secure, to be more fulfilled, and to build something sustainable with your partner. Step number 2, remind yourself that you should have, as an anxious person, so if I'm going to do a video with dismissive avoidant, if you're an anxious person, you have to remind yourself, and perhaps take a screenshot of this slide, to have patience with people. You need to also stay connected with your needs and wants, but reminded that you don't function the same pace as other people. Okay, if you send a message and you don't get a response 2 minutes after, don't think, he's so rude or she's so rude. I would have answered 2 minutes after, right away. Why he, she, or why he's not responding. So people don't have the same rhythm or pace when it comes to relationship. You also have to understand when people can't meet your needs. It's not necessarily personal to you. So a lot of anxious people, when things don't go where they want it to go, they feel like, okay, they are doing that to make me suffer. They are doing this because they are narcissistic people. No, people have their own life, people have their own things. Sometimes friends can be disappointing, but it's not necessarily because they want you to suffer. It's nothing personal. Most of the time, it's nothing personal. And also, and lastly, identify what attachment repair looks like for you and others. So understand how you can work on those different things. Project yourself. A very simple thing is, how would a secure people would act, would respond to this? If I send a message and I don't hear from someone, and picture yourself, because you probably know someone who is secure in your amongst your friends or colleagues, how he or she would behave. What would they feel? Would they feel rejected? Would they just feel like that's the way of life? He's working, he's busy, he can't answer. So really try to play, challenging yourself to put yourself in different shoes. And the idea is to visualize yourself as doing something that someone who has a secure attachment style would do. Step number 3, extremely hard, but extremely, extremely rewarding. You want to set boundaries. It is essential. Problem you have as anxious attachment style is that you over-adapt to the situation, you over-adapt to your partner or to your ex. And therefore, it's not that your ex or your partner is a narcissistic person, but when you let the other decide, when you let the other take control, he or she will take it. And there will be a disconnection between your needs, what you want, because even though you might feel I'm a people pleaser, you have your own needs. And so what you have to do is to assess when you're actually compromising on your needs. You have to assess whenever you make a decision, is it really what I want? If the other person wasn't involved, what would I really want? What would I feel? Would I really want to be in that restaurant? Would I really want to be going out to this place or whatever? What do you want? Am I okay people talking to me like this? How would someone secure who respond to that sort of threatening or abusing behavior? Another thing that you can also, and that's what I do with my clients who want to feel more secure and feel anxious, is how can you test yourself to be more assertive, not aggressive, assertive. It's very different. So there's also an element of how you can use effective communication in that sense. But how can you express your needs clearly without judging, without threatening anyone? Stand what matters to you. And once you have that first understanding of what you need, and second, expressing what you need, you're not putting yourself in a position of running after the other. And the impact is very interesting because you also will create an impact in your partner's mine or ex's mind, thinking like, I respect that person because they have opinions, they have values, and they can express this. Don't be ashamed, don't be scared to speak up. And when I do this exercise with my clients, it's really, I've got that feedback recently. It's as if when you take that leap of faith, once you do it, it's a little bit like public speaking. It's super scary. You feel like, oh my God, it's the worst experience ever. And so many sort of thoughts, scary thoughts coming onto your head. But once you had that speech, once you had those people applauding, sharing you that good love and stuff like that, you feel so much better. And you come from a position of, oh my God, that's the worst thing, to a position of empowerment, to a position of pride, to a position of, I finally managed to do something for myself. And that is extremely, extremely powerful. Step number 4, and it is again extremely important, is the people. Avoidant people will tend to create a lot of connection because they are so scared of abandonment that would have a lot of friends or create deep, or if I exaggerate, they would have tons of best friends, for example. And your ex might be avoidant. So the best way for you to work on your anxiety is to spend more time with people who are secure. Because as you crave connection, as you crave intimacy, if you spend your time with people who are rejecting you, not rejecting you, but ignoring you, not providing you that sense of closeness, you'll feel even worse. Okay? So one way to feel better about yourself and to feel more secure is to surround yourself with secure people. And as the principle of this video is, as you become more secure, your partner who is potentially an avoidant attachment style will feel more secure. And you'll be able to get back together. Because an avoidant person doesn't want to deal with someone who's insecure. Even if he or she is insecure, he or she would be tempted to be attracted with secure relationship. And so when you do that, you minimize the what we call the activation. And that will help you to deal with your emotions. Because I know after a breakup, I know when we're struggling in a relationship, what we want is to have some space to heal, some good momentum. So surround yourself with positive people. Surround yourself with people who are secure. Surround yourself with people who are able to communicate with you on your own terms. Then you can decide what you want. Then you can decide, who's helping me, who's making me feel better. Perhaps you're going to realize my ex is actually not helping me feel better. Actually, in the relationship, not after the breakup, in the relationship, he wasn't making me feel better. He didn't respect my needs. I couldn't really express mine. He dismissed any things I would say. But now that I'm surrounded with people who are more secure, surrounded with people who are better communicators, things are easier. A relationship needs to be easy. At the same time, we need to work on a relationship. But if the basic interaction feels like a fight, feels like forcing, you're in the wrong boat. Okay, so it's very important to you to assess and realize and sort of experience things with different people. Step number 5, which is obviously the hardest, is the ongoing thing. The first steps were really about the theory, really about the kickoff, how we implement things, how we get started. Now, the problem is that, like most things in life, in psychology, it's not a switch. You are the result of unconscious programming. This attachment style is the result of not necessarily trauma, but childhood experiences that now make you see the life and interaction in a certain way. So what you have to do is to reprogram that part of your brain, and it takes some time. If you're 30, 35, 40, you have the same amount of years to reprogram. Will it take the same amount of years as your age? No, but it takes a bit of time and it takes a lot of iteration. It takes a lot of awareness, right? And it's like a muscle. You have to work out and be focused on that. And so that's why when I work with my clients or people, if you're watching this video and you want to try at home alone, you'll experience setbacks. I'm not going to lie. Perhaps those setbacks will be because you're getting in touch with your ex and he's avoidant. He's not actually helping you, meeting your needs and bringing you back to that anxious child who suffered that fear of abandonment, for example. So you have to, from this point, when you pause this video, when you stop this video, try to see, and actually do it. Take action. After this video, rather than listening to me and feel better about listening to me and say, okay, it makes sense, take action. Write down the system that will help you on those stages. What are the resources? Who can help me? What sort of accountability framework I can put in place in my life to achieve those things? Because it's not difficult, but it's a process. It's exactly, I use always this example of working out at the gym. It's not hard to work out. It's not hard to gain muscle. It's just a question of going there and regularly and have a system and show up. This is what you have to do. You have to show up. And this breakup or potentially the difficulty you have in your relationship, it's just a trigger for you to act, for you to take action. So find a system depending on people. Maybe you need to hire a counselor like myself. Maybe you can work with a friend. Maybe it's by doing online courses, but it's really about taking action. It could take months of work, months of growth, but it would provide a lifelong impact. So if you want to get in touch and get into the action or ask me any question, there are a few links in the description where you can either book a call with me, take a quiz to know your attachment style or whether you have any chance to get back with your ex, and or chat with me on WhatsApp. But really take action, please. It's great to watch my video and I'm grateful that you're watching my video, but now it's your time to take action. It's your time to, even if it's a tiny progress, to build that awareness that you have about your attachment style. And by doing that, trust me, your next relationship will be way more successful and way more fulfilling. Take care, bye-bye.
igetmyexback.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.